Chapter 3. You can sail faster with red sails. The boat was more wonderful than Michel had imagined. It was larger, cleaner, trimmer. The sails were redder. You like my red sails? Yes? Yes. Never had there been a more enthusiastic answer to any question. You know why I have them? Because they are beautiful, Michel could not take his eyes away from them. Because you can see them from a great distance, Pietro said, looking at them appreciatively. Yes, yes, they are beautiful and seeable, but that is not all. It is a great secret, one I myself discovered, and as a special favor, I shall tell it to you, the two of you. Monsieur Jacques put an arm around each of the two boys and drew them close to him. A great secret, a great secret. You will promise never to tell? Never. Good. Then here it is. His voice dropped to a whisper, though no one was within 100 yards of the boat. A great secret, a great discovery. You can sail faster with the red sails. Both boys laughed. Monsieur was a wonderful fellow. It was a wonderful day. The sky and the water seemed made one piece, and the red sails bellied against their blue. You can sail faster with red sails? Was it true? After half an hour, Michel was ready to believe it. The boat skimmed across the water. It could have been a fish or a bird or both. It was a new world for Michel and Pietro. They had never gone so fast before. Around them there was nothing but sun and wind, reds and blues. Michel lay down on the deck and closed his eyes. You can take all the cities and throw them into the sea, he said slowly. Nothing is as wonderful as this. Monsieur Jacques smiled. Nothing at all? Not even Naples? Not even Naples. Monsieur Jacques patted his shoulder. You will not always think so, but I am glad you think so today. We will sail into the cove up ahead. We'll drop anchor there and look around. Michel sat up and shaded his eyes with his hands. Which cove did you say, monsieur? The big one, almost at the end of the island. Right now the mountain above casts a shadow over it. Can't you see it? I can see it. Michel's voice was flat. He looked at Pietro. There is not a good place to drop anchor, monsieur. Why not? There might be hidden rocks just below the surface. It might be dangerous. Dangerous? It looks like the most peaceful spot we've passed. Monsieur, I beg you, when we get close to the cove, make a wide semicircle around it. It is very dangerous. How wide? At least a kilometer. A kilometer? But why? It is best. Rocks? That far out? There might be. Don't you know? No one knows, monsieur. What do you mean, no one knows? Just that, monsieur. I don't understand. No one understands, monsieur. No one understands. What are you talking about, Michel? What are you trying to tell me? Monsieur, it is very difficult to understand. Perhaps you should wait and ask my father. But your father said that you knew more about this island and the waters around it than anyone. Perhaps, monsieur, but no one knows about that cove over there. Why not? It is a great mystery. A mystery? I like mysteries, Michel. Perhaps you wouldn't like this one. I have yet to see a mystery I have not liked. Tell me about it, Michel. Please, monsieur, wait and ask my father. I beg you. His face was grave, almost frightened. All right, Monsieur Jacques patted his arm. All right. If that's the way you feel, we'll forget about it. We'll pretend the cove isn't there, that we never saw it. He set the sails and made a wide semicircle around it. A few minutes later, they had rounded the end of the island and were on the west side. But nothing was quite the same. The sun wasn't as bright. The wind had died. Even the sails seemed less red. It was as if they had taken the shadow which covered the cove along with them. It hung over the boat, over the sea, the sky, over their spirits. Michel looked at Pietro. It's always true, isn't it? Always? We should have gone the other way. I forgot about it. I forgot that everyone doesn't know. I did too. Well, it can't be helped now. No. Their conversation died like the wind. There seemed to be nothing to say. But when they reached the south side, the wind came up again, and the sun was brighter. The cove seemed far away. Once more the boat skimmed across the water, and both boys regained their lost spirits. Well, Monsieur Jacques smiled, this is more like it. A dull boat on one hand is bad enough, but a dull boat and two dull boys, no one deserves that. Michel smiled. I'm sorry, monsieur. It's just, never mind. We've half the day left. I'm hungry. What do you say we pull in at the cove? He stopped and looked at Michel questioningly. Is that one ahead all right? Michel laughed. That one is all right, monsieur. They are all right except. Good. Now for lunch, yes. The rest of the day was like the beginning. There was sun and wind, talk and laughter. The shadowy cove seemed far away. It was late when they got back to the inn, and Signor and Signora Pango were preparing supper. Michel hurried toward the kitchen. Usually he did not like to help with the cooking, but tonight the warm room felt wonderful after the cool ocean air, and a dozen delicious odors rose from a dozen steaming pots. Michel, Signor Pango looked up. You are just in time. Help Papa with the macaroni. Michel tied an apron around his middle and hurried to the stove. He was glad for a chance to talk to his dad without being overheard. Papa? Yes, Michel. We went for a sail. I know. We passed the cove. The cove? Yes. Signor Pango shrugged. One always passes the cove on a trip around the island. Cannot be helped. But Monsieur Jacques, he wanted to stop there. What? Signor Pango put his hands to his head and rocked back and forth. With 100 coves around the island, why did he choose that one? It was Michel's turn to shrug. I do not know. I only know that he did. What happened? He wanted to stop there and have lunch. What did you say? What could I say? First I said it was dangerous. But you know that cove, quiet and peaceful. And so he kept asking questions. Finally I said he should wait and ask you. Was he satisfied with that answer? Michel shrugged again. Who can tell? I only know that he stopped asking questions. He was very polite and kind. Perhaps he'll forget about it. Perhaps not. You don't think he will? No. Signor Pango sighed. Well, we shall see. If he starts asking questions, what are you going to do? Do? I do not know, Michel. I have to worry about it when the time comes. Right now we must worry about something else. Those macaroni. If we ruin Mama's macaroni. Ruin my macaroni? Signora Pango caught the last three words. What are you two doing? Talking. Have I told you about the macaroni? It is jealous. Jealous? If you do not watch it every minute, for spite, it will boil over or get too soft or sticky at the bottom. For spite? Because it is jealous? It wants all of your attention, all of your time, every minute. You must watch it and look at it and stir it and admire it. Otherwise, how many times must I tell you how it is with macaroni? Michel smiled. The macaroni. What else was important? Questions, the cove, even Monsieur Jacques. At the moment in his mother's kitchen, nothing else was important. The three of them flew about. Only the macaroni was calm. It had stuck to the bottom of the pan and was now bubbling quietly. See? Signora Pango nodded her head. See what it did? And all for spite, because it was jealous. What were you two talking about anyway? But Michel and his father were suddenly at the other end of the kitchen. They pretended not to hear.